specifically used in mid lane with the Predator to try and push and roam and affect, specifically, funnily enough, Papa, the top lane.
Yeah.
And the question is, what do G2 then lock in here? We assume for Jankos, once we get into this phase 2, give the option to put either that Ryze top or middle, pivot on whatever FunPlus Phoenix decide to lock in. So what safe blind picks do we have? And you think FunPlus would like to run?
I think when it comes to G2, firstly, the Lwx Xayah was banned last time out when it's double AD banned, and it's going to go that way as well. So if you look at what he's played this tournament, we're kind of at Jarvan or the Elise that hasn't worked so far in this series. So I think it might have to be the AD choice here, and it is the Jarvan.
Jarvan locked in, and we'll get those questions answered in just a moment. The Gangplank for Gimgoon did a lot of work in game 1, and it was Gangplank into Ryze as well. It was a matchup that Wunder was doing fairly well in the 1v1, but all of Tian's ganks got him ahead.
It took so much effort to make it happen though, Quickshot. So many resources from FPX sent topside. Jarvan can level 2 gank, and it is a winning matchup for Ryze, as we're actually seeing the hover on the Draven for some more lane domination.
And the gauntlet has been thrown by FPX. They've got double globals that they can throw to that bottom side of the map. It is Gimgoon's tried and true Gangplank and a mid-lane Galio for Doinb. Meanwhile, G2 have to lay it down. What's going to be the final carry?
And it is the Veigar locked in. It has been a fringe pick here at the World Championship, but what do you make of it, Papasmithy?
Remember that started with a Draven hover, which means they were considering Ezreal mid. This could actually be Ezreal mid into the Galio. You don't have to run the Veigar there. This is another one where if you consider, put down the cage, hook someone into it, that's a whole lot of crowd control. So let's wait till 20 seconds to really fully put the picture together.
Definitely true. Ezreal can try and start pushing that wave, fire those Mystic shots through, but they've only got 2 seconds left to make it happen. There will be no twist at the end of this champion select.
Now, if there is one thing that G2 is signaling with the baby cage from a Veigar and the Cataclysm from Jarvan, if they can't win the team fights, they sure as hell want to put walls up to prevent FPX steamrolling them. The disruption that those two champions will cause in these mid-game fights could be the turning point for G2.
But then Galio and Thresh have similar opportunities. We're shouting during this pick and ban. This is going to be an intriguing one. To me, Jankos has to be the MVP. He has the ganking jungler. He needs to get the ganking done.
He needs to be the summer split MVP Jankos. The man that once wore the moniker of the First Blood King. Here on European soil, the European champions carrying the hope of Europe. But the man on your screen, the dancing, singing Wonder Kid super carry from the LPL, wants to close this out 3-0, and we are moments away from what could be the final game of Worlds 2019.
There is that Summoner's Cup. We do hold out hope. We don't have a repeat of the 3-0 last year. This is going to be an awesome one.
Just very quickly, if you don't know the FPX story we tried to talk about in the previous game, the experience of FunPlus Phoenix. Papasmithy, you were talking about it in Drop. This is a team that has popped up on the international stage. They have 15 games played across the board. FunPlus Phoenix as an organization had a huge turning point once Tian and Doinb joined the organization, comparing their win-losses from 2018 to 2019.
And the freshness of these players to the international stage makes this performance and this dominance that much more impressive.
It's a 90% win rate on the regular season, and Doinb was asked about play styles and kind of understanding him. He said, every team that I come on plays a certain style. That is the FPX style, but it fits them so well.
And he brings something that's incredibly important in Pro League. It's leadership to every team that he joins. PerkZ now under attack.
All right, flash for flash, it's traded. Arcane Shifter, I think used there as well. Now the blue buff is under siege. FunPlus Phoenix will be able to secure this one. Now, any other AD carry, I think that'd be a little bit more valuable, but there is some wiggle room on an Ezreal with that E.
But flash for flash, when G2 could have gone for a non-sided bot lane and went Ezreal bot so they could play top side, means that suddenly on the weak side, Ezreal goes from being unflappable to potentially taken down. So there still is a reward there as Jankos going buff to buff.
Plus, this is very intentional from FPX. They're trying to split the map once again. And we briefly talked about it last time, but this is what happens to the jungle when you do one of those early invades. It basically means you have to cross for the buffs, and you're going to leave behind one of the wolves to have a delayed spawn on the enemy's experience. But the biggest effect of it is not on the junglers themselves. It's actually on those lane matchups, and it's allowing that bottom lane where the flash discrepancy on the Ezreal is being pushed under the tower. Now the hook lands.
Oh man, that death sentence is fantastic. Mickey down to 100 HP. Lwx and Crisp have just been the superior 2v2 this series.
FPX open up a point to attack, and they're trying to just get the maximum out of this bottom lane advantage.
PerkZ actually spotted Tian
Sonic
with the
wave.
Q, so knew he was there. Positioned accordingly.
This is such a risky tower dive, and PerkZ and Mickey, they want to get away. Sonic Wave should still be on cooldown, and the Demolish will allow some damage to this tower.
Minions denied here. One melee goes down. They're trying to zone them even from experience here. Are they going to make their way back in?
0 CS for PerkZ. 3.5 minutes into the game. Nearly 3 full waves, and PerkZ just gets on the board. He's flashless, he's CS-less, he's experienceless, and capsless. He's ready to survive.
And look at the respectful timing from FPX. They are maintaining a couple of seconds lead on G2. You saw Jankos heading down after the recall on Jarvan, but FPX already pulled out of the bottom lane play. They let up on the pressure and actually turned towards mid lane so they don't get caught under the tower red-handed.
And Kobe, the decision-making here was fascinating because I was looking and saying, all right, red buff stolen, blue buff claimed. As a level 2 Lee Sin, because you can't actually get level 3 from the bot side of the jungle when you started on blue buff, you can't really invade against a Jarvan, you'll be caught red-handed. Instead, they make it about what they do have, the ability to zone away, the ability to deny the Ezreal, and instead, they claim in a scenario where I think 8 out of 10 teams would have been 3 buff.
Now again, we talked about the pressure that transitions through Summoner's Rift. Now there is a big wave building up on top side. That's where your jungler has to be. Tian has already taken the Scuttle Crab and helping Gimgoon move up that wave, trying to take away the possibility of an answer from Jankos, the offensive gank from Jarvan. Now he's found him, and they can feel secure.
All right, picking a fight there over the big chicken. Jankos and Tian now trading a little bit, looking at the minimap. Caps is pushed all the way to his tower. Still farming up with that baleful strike. Now from behind, Crisp, no flash available. If the death sentence lands with the help of Tian, it might be enough damage. But obviously the Galio at this point in the game, maybe not just enough.
This is why we keep highlighting Tian. He doesn't even go for the recall on Lee Sin. He's doing as much as he can to set these lanes up so they can fend for themselves.
3 games in a row, Lee Sin has had the map pressure early, not even farm to level 6, like we so often see. Really impressive jungling performance here. The biggest delta between the two teams to me is the 2 junglers.
And it was what we anticipated. Tian has been one of the most impressive junglers all tournament long, and he's had a significantly bigger impact in the early stages than what Jankos has been able to do.
All right, now the big minion wave on bottom side allows FPX to get the recall off. Definitely a lot of vision here for G2. Let's see if Chris actually risks trying to get into the tower, and they are going to do it.
Okay, so 25 CS to 41. That's where PerkZ is playing with. Now it is matched in the top lane as Wunder's 44 to 25. Lwx comes back in with a TP.
And he comes back in with a BF sword. So the most combat stats versus the least combat stats here on the back, and that's because PerkZ has been necessitated into bad back timings.
And let me highlight once again, Tian, he moves down because there's a pushing minion wave bottom. So
we know how this goes, Kobe.
Exactly. Every time they play with the waxing and waning of minion waves on Summoner's Rift, and so they don't lose out on any of those extra gold pickups.
And even though G2 prepped for it and tried to find counters, turns out you keep doing that, especially with the damage lead that the Xayah has. You just take L's incrementally again and again as this Ezreal, who's on welfare in the early game.
And this time we see defense from Jankos. Make sure that there's no dive possible, but FPX just turn their sights towards the dragon. They'll pick up the mountain.
All right, Mountain Drake uncontested here with all the control that FPX have been able to accrue. Now, we haven't seen too much of that top lane, but I do want to track it. Wunder is continuing to farm up, as you somewhat expect in the early game. Gimgoon has hit level 6, so if any of those bot lane plays come down, Cannon Barrage, Hero's Entrance, PerkZ and Mickey could be in a lot of trouble.
Definitely been the story throughout this series. what could be the possible changes here that G2 could throw into it, though? And those things come from mobility and crowd control. The reason this Veigar is picked is because of the AoE CC. We always see it with the Glacial Augment, so you can try and chase down and find those kills and set your team up to start the snowball in their favor.
While there's the S word, scaling on Ryze, on Veigar, late game looks good, we've learned that the meta in 2019 isn't about scaling. It's about being forced into a decision again and again, and making no play is often worse than making a bad play. Right now, they haven't been able to find Gangster Jarvan, and he's out of position for this zone off, and that's 3 plates done in an instant.
And just count the objectives that FPX get with this big minion wave. They get multiple turret plates, they deny CS from PerkZ.
They're gonna get the turret.
They also are gonna get the whole thing. That's first turret bonus.
Yeah, absolutely beautifully played here by FPX. No jitters, no nerves. They get that flash from PerkZ, and they just keep twisting the pressure until the tower breaks. Now, some kudos to PerkZ. They did play respectfully and defensively. They didn't give up more. But when you're down 1,000 gold in your penultimate or final game, it is a problem.
Exactly, we saw this all season long from FPX in the LPL. Once again, Lwx, richest man on the Rift.
He is for sure, and all of that from a flash for flash, that was the right call. If you can get the AD carries flash, an AD carry you know wants to play without jungle help in an Ezreal, then you just can get cascading advantages, and it comes back to what I was mentioning about how things are in this meta. G2 haven't got anywhere to target, haven't got anywhere they want to fight, and they keep losing and not claiming anything for themselves.
I would say the one area that G2 can look for is to try and play around Wunder. There's an equally big CS lead growing for this Ryze, and we always mention, the Ryze matchup into Gangplank. He's been doing a very good job of trying to get that while FPX have been able to get a big lead on bottom. Wunder should be the point for G2 to mount the counterattack. The Ryze, everything was invested into it.
And that's why you can see FPX attacking him in the top lane. After that first tower fell, just want to let you know that was the fastest first tower of Worlds 2019. Just in the previous game, FPX set the fastest Baron of Worlds 2019, and FPX may want to set another record winning this final. They're putting pressure on the top lane tower, and there's no initiation just yet.
Attack the winning lane. No longer does Ryze get to just wail away on a GP, and remember, GP has his ult while he's parked bot lane against the Ezreal, so they can always outnumber us. Here we go.
Jankos, he failed flashes! He hits the wall! Doinb trades a flash for a flash, and Jankos is able to escape for now.
And look, they're making a lane swap once again. PerkZ uses the teleport up to top side to equalize, and they're sending Wunder bottom. This is in preparation for the possible play around Rift Herald. We're entering 10 minutes, it will spawn, and this opens up G2 with the extra teleport on Ryze. They can actually go for an answer.
Can read so much into that face plant flash from Jankos. He has been somewhat run around in circles this series. His team is down 1,000 gold already. We've just crested the 10-minute mark, and that Rift Herald has been set up, it has been secured, and it is safe for FPX.
No kills on the board, but it's so hard for G2 to contest when they haven't got their scaling down. And remember that FPX got advantages with globals, and that doesn't usually happen because you usually sacrifice globals, long cooldowns, for just other stats. You pay for having AoE globals especially, and neither of them have been used. Therefore, G2 have to continue to seed advantages.
That is such an early Rift Herald for FPX that they will get immediate gold out of it. Yep, Tian immediately just pops on top side. They're just trying to funnel as much into Lwx so you can get your crit multipliers going on Xayah, and then you force the team fights with your Galio Lee Sin engages.
Tian has the possibility to go for a dive here. The boop from Shelly easily secures the second tower. Lwx up 20 CS already. PerkZ and Mickey trying to do what they can to push back the siege from FPX, but they are faltering and falling behind.
20 CS and at least a share in 10 plates at 11 minutes in the game.
All right, we're 11 minutes, 25 seconds on the clock. The latest first blood of the World Championship clocks in at 15:52. We're a few minutes away from that record, and G2 will want to secure it because they need some bonus gold back. They need to get themselves back into this game before it runs away. They're falling behind.
Yeah, there you can say that again. They've lost so much territory, Quickshot. FPX are actually setting up for a possible pre-turret plate fall, all outer turrets taken for themselves. themselves. You see the rotation now mid. Because those are the standing turret plates left, Lwx and Chris immediately there with Doinb. They push as hard as they can.
Oh, here comes Jankos. Cataclysm is available to him. Tian is going to be securing the second dragon of the game. G2 eSports are being pushed further and further behind. No team in the history of League has been able to complete the Grand Slam. G2 are not looking likely of being the first one able. RNG faltered, SKT faltered, and right now, 12 minutes, you have to feel that G2 is going to falter, and at the final hurdle.
Exactly, Quickshot. It's just so obnoxious to play against this FPX comp from ahead. They could use the Gimgoon ult to stop Ezreal from getting more turret plates on the top side. Galio teleports in there. Thing about a Veigar for Caps is doesn't force anything in the early game. They haven't been able to play through it. And Doinb just wants to wave clear, buy time for the plates to go down.
All right, just a reminder, the latest first blood, small correction from earlier, 15 minutes, 22 seconds, 2.5 minutes away from it. At 13 in the game, Caps TPs to the top lane. Realm Warp is now coming in behind the tower, and Wunder will not be able to find any follow-up. He is currently the pressure point for G2, plus 40 CS in the top lane. Kobe, and as it stands, he needs to find a way to bring G2 back into this game.
And look how much power FPX are bringing to the map. That was literally just Chris roaming up with the Moby boots on Thresh, forcing out 2 big cooldowns from G2. They had to make 2 rotations, teleport from mid, as well as the Realm Warp coming through, just to stay even in the map state.
G2 can get exclusive vision on an area, then suddenly the Nautilus Veigar will have a lot of zone control, but so behind in map control that it's more about pick wards for Chris to try to get an initiation. Thresh has been unleashed on the map, and that's why you just have so much ability as Lwx to push up and even greed for a turret plate just as the turret plates fall.
Look at Doinb. He's going to get caught out there by the dredge line of Mykix, so that's an initiation or a tower dive that is somewhat thwarted. Just over a minute away from breaking the record for the Lotus first blood. True Shot Barrage comes out. Lwx gets tagged. The death sentence pulls back Mickey. He escapes with his life for now. First blood to the first blood king from Europe. But what more can they get? Wunder continues to chase. Remember, the Realm Warp is on cooldown. Mystic Shark will not find a target as the Arcane Shift sends PerkZ over the wall. G2 get one back.
And Caps is able to make the pick. The Glacial Augment slowing them down long enough for G2 to get some money in the bank.
FPX in position to use their globals that time. Gimgoon's ult just about to come off cooldown. You're right, the slowing field is what leads to hesitation for once, and Lwx being chunked means that he takes the safest route and doesn't put out damage.
Then follows it up with the stun on the Veigar cage, getting the kill. Galio ultimate also used, so when we get back to live, you have to count your cooldowns.
After that kill, Paris is ignited. 11 plates to 2. I am a little bit more of a pessimist in real life and don't yet share the hope that is felt by the Parisian crowd. G2 eSports have 2 minutes until the next Infernal, and that 1,500 gold lead does feel less bad the longer we go into this game. That dirty S word that you were talking about, Papasmithy, of scaling, it can come to help G2 if they stay this close.
Yeah, you're going to need a lot of help, though, Quickshot, because Lwx is window shopping right now, and he's eyeing that Infinity Edge, and he is very close. One more paycheck, one more recall, he gets Infinity Edge, and then because Lwx has gotten so much money funneled into him, he can even afford an early QSS.
And it's worth mentioning that G2's comp doesn't chase very well. Veigar wants people coming to him. His range on his event horizon is relatively short. So with the fact that they're behind, smack down the control wards and you're probably fine as FPX for quite a while in this game.
And so important to note the tools that Lwx can use with that ultimate, with that flash to get away some of the key initiation. The Dark Matter gets thrown down into the river. So 1 minute until Dragon, you can already feel FPX cheating towards that bottom half of the map. They're pushing their vision forward. Kobe and G2, do you think they try to contest this next one? They've conceded the last few.
I would actually expect G2 to attack the opposite side of the map and get the Ryze into top lane to get that last outer turret solo gold. If you can get Wunder more fed, Papasmithy's talking about, the power and side lane Ryze later in the game in splitting the map. Yes, you have to deal with Gangplank and Galio ultimates, but you have to play off of your strengths.
Yeah, you reach a point in this game where both Galio and Gangplank will be exposed by the champions in the solo lanes of G2. So that's what you want to get to as fast as possible. But these moments where you're setting up around the Drake do at least not cede advantages to FPX.
10 seconds until Drake. Lwx has not gone shopping. He does not have teleport available. So that Infinity Edge and QSS you were talking about, Kobe, is not yet activated. Hero's Entrance is available for Doinb. Cannon Barrage is available for Gimgoon. And Gimgoon is coming from base. There is a lot of damage from that Dark Matter coming down. Infernal
burn it
down to 2,000 HP. Here comes Tian. We're into a smite fight. It's secured by Jankos, but Doinb gets the kill. Now all of a sudden Tian's running for his life. The Realm Warp from Wunder might deliver Mykix to safety, and they get out. They trade one for Infernal.
Hashtag worth for the side of G2. They take an Infernal under the nose of FPX, and they get a decent reset to mid lane as well.
Woo, the world was holding its breath on that one, Papasmithy. As Jankos gets kicked out of the pit, he's able to land the smite, and even though he goes down, G2 will take that because of the scaling that they're trying to lean on. In the end, though, FPX are able to clean another G2 member off the map.
And these are the windows we alluded to, the no IE being done. Lwx late to the picture here.
Ooh.
You see the new age combo, you have to flash before you taunt now as the Galio. So it looks a bit different, they don't get the full CC direction, and the fadeaway smite works from the grave for Jankos.
I did more than hold my breath, Kobe. I clenched as well, but Jankos gets the secure. And G2 are still 2,000 gold down. The only kill accrued is with Jankos. And PerkZ now finds himself in a challenge up top while Jankos is able to get helped out, and Caps finds a kill onto Crisp. PerkZ has got flash available to him. Teleport's traded. The barrel comes down. Hero's Entrance lands on the Gimgoon. Wunder finishes the teleport, but that's going to be a taunt. It's flashed away from. Wunder stays alive, keeps alive, gets away. Tian's now the target, gets tagged and slowed, and Red Buff does its work. It's a trade of 1-for-1, but teleports were committed, and G2 are now on the offensive.
Remain on the attack, Trevor. They're still looking to create plays, and after this, they're able to force them back. It looks like they're going to roam into the river and go towards mid rather than trying to push down this turret.
2 games ago, Papasmithy, you called it. G2 will not go quietly into the French night. They continue to find opportunities to fight, and they want to extend this series.
And when we get the replay, you see one of the shortcomings of FPX is that they look at what resources they have and say, we could get a kill here. They don't always respect enemy TP timings, and they were just outnumbered on the play.
And highlighting the G2 composition again, and the Veigar pick. Well, let's actually take a look at what happened after the initial pick. It is FPX trying to force a counterattack, but you know that G2 have the extra champion advantage, so there's a time limit on this FPX play. And because Wunder delays that long, it means there's a counter kill for G2, and in the end, they go 2-for-1. FPX starting up the Baron, though.
You've got to be kidding, you've got to be kidding. The Baron has already been started. 20 minutes and 10 seconds. They've already set a record. Jankos escapes a hook, but he gets caught by a barrel. Crisp is locked down, but none of the damage follows. That was fired too early. G2 have been able to thwart the Baron play, and that will be enough for now.
They want the enemy to come to them. Like we mentioned, that's where G2 might be weaker, but they don't actually register the death sentence. They have to use a stopwatch. FPX fishing. This time, nothing's by.
All right, G2 need to get their game plan online here, push the side wave with Wunder on the rise, and then you look to use the Veigar pick potential that they drafted for, right? This is the pick that is supposed to be the surprise twist at the end. With that and a Nautilus, you have a lot of potential of trying to pick off those members. Again, Crisp is always the target.
And you see the vision here? This is exactly what you want, because remember that Event Horizon is an entire choke that you can't contest the Baron from. So getting Baron vision when they feel strong enough and then forcing FPX to check, that's exactly how G2 find a Baron.
Meanwhile, looking from FPX's side, the Infinity Edge was completed by Lwx, and they have the possibilities of this Galio ultimate to answer. So it's much more about the counterplay rather than setting up an offensive look.
You can see Caps right now stepping
Here we go.
forward, throws out the spooky ghost. The Dark Matter comes down as well, but he held onto the primordial boost. Jankos has locked down Doinb inside the Cataclysm. He now is the target. That's a body block from Wunder. Steps in front of the Justice Punch. dodge, but the death sentence is amazing. Mickey is caught. Crisp. That was fresh and clean. But G2 aren't done yet. They're putting pressure onto the tower. The Event Horizon blocks down some, but the kick back under the tower. Tian gets blown up, but he secures a kill into Wunder. It's not done yet as Gimgoon is now stepping forward. Cannon Barrage will come up and available in just a moment. The Super Soaker is thrown out by Caps, but there's no follow-up damage. Gimgoon is being zoned away by Jankos.
These pushes are being played around the cooldown of the Event Horizon from Veigar. You can see the only opportunity for FPX to counterattack is after that is used in mid. In the end, G2 are able to force another tower kill for themselves. Here's the first one. They pick out Lwx and then switch focus over to Doinb. Jankos also able to interrupt here, and even though he goes through, it's actually a hook from Crisp, pulling Mickey under the tower and forcing this opportunity.
Each of these fights played on the finest of margins. So close to this flank here, and even the flanking barrels from Gimgoon making a difference.
That replay brought to you by Axe Gaming. What's your move? G2 keeping themselves in it. The Drake, I think, completed there by PerkZ. True Shot Barrage is on cooldown, but the Dragon is secured. 5 members of FPX are in the pit. Teleport is coming down. Baron is available for the taking, and it will be secured by Tian and FPX, but at what cost? The Winds of War come out, and as the feathers fly, they're pulled backwards. That lands a route onto Mickey. Hero's Entrance is the escape route for Doinb. They get Baron, they get out. That was beautiful.
Look at the coordination on that call. They preemptively talk about, I'm laying the lantern here, go into the pit to then ultimate out, and they make sure every member of FPX leaves wearing purple.
I love the geometry kind of plays they do about attacking every angle, opening up space, leaving the Galios the tasty treat to ult out. There was just no way to punish for G2.
You can literally see the communication and the forethought from FPX as the game is playing out here. And now, what will they do with the Baron buff? Mid lane has an outer turret left standing. They can just try and send Galio here, who is waiting on ultimate cooldown to be able to clean up the AoE.
And I was trying to say a moment or two ago that Papasmithy, you talked about how G2 don't really chase particularly well. They're hoping that GLP and the Spooky Ghosts will do something. But now, fortunately, FPX have to come to them with Baron and Empowered Minions with the ability to siege and to push forward. Maybe G2 can find opportunities. Gimgoon is waiting in the wings.
FPX have to seed, and they have to give respect to this push because they don't have the Galio ultimate yet. It's a few more seconds left on cooldown, and they don't have the positioning.
Running through mid lane really gets nothing. You cannot get through what is kind of a freeze scenario with Veigar having Event Horizon every minion wave and just having a super low range comp again. That's been FPX's story the entire time. They never play range top laners. It's been mostly melee mid laners. So because of that, they're gonna fight. They have to play 3 lanes to really get Baron value.
And thank you to the observers for highlighting the vision difference there. G2 Esports just trying to cover the mid lane river entrances, and they don't have particularly deep vision. While they were just waiting in the wings, Doinb is able to push all the way to top inner, get a lot of damage down, and while G2 are responding, it'll open up the ability in the mid lane for FPX to push.
That timing window we talked about, Quickshot, is almost up. FPX trying to collapse here now. G2, will they get him?
All right, now look at the minimap at what cost. Doinb gets the kill onto Caps, and the teleports now come in. This could be it for G2. Lwx goes forward. He won't find the kill into Jankos, but there is a potential reply.
Oh!
Time doesn't do anything. PerkZ stays alive. It's a fight on multiple fronts. Now PerkZ is in trouble. He's got no flash. He's got low mana, and he can't find anything. Tian takes him down. FunPlus Phoenix, accelerating ahead. Nearly 5,000 gold.
Observers once again show the true genius of the FPX plan.
Sentenced to death. Wunder, Crisp, Flash, Q's, and FPX, they want to lift the cup.
Behind enemy lines, the picks there were obscene. Tian kicking the Veigar to his death. Meant no delays. They're going to break the base on this Baron.
Inhibitor's going to fall. Mickey and Caps, they have respawned. G2 Esports down 5,500 gold. The hope of Europe, the hope of the Grand Slam, and it is fleeting and flying away as FPX are crushing them.
There's nothing proverbial about that dagger through the heart. It was clear. Watch the replay. Tian has been behind enemy lines for so long as G2 come to try to kill the Galio, and once again the communication is real. He finds his man. Doesn't matter that he misses the kick. It's an alley-oop to Doinb.
Yeah, I was skeptical they would have enough damage to finish it off since the Sonic Wave doesn't hit, but Doinb just dunks him there. And then you can see the plan come to fruition for FPX. And this is what we are talking about. They pull together the collapse. Tian actually able to safeguard away from Mickey's hook, and then PerkZ is left by himself, isolated, where they thought that G2 were the ones springing the trap.
The G2 story all year was no man left behind, styling as a five-man group, but it's been FPX in this best of five who have been more on point in moments like that. Very equal damage share coming through, as you were kind of talking about there, Kobe. They don't really have a massive damage dealer when Xayah's been zoned pretty frequently. Here we go.
All right, there's the engage. Event Horizon and Cataclysm. PerkZ escapes over the wall, but Mickey's the sacrificial lamb. Doinb goes down. It's PerkZ that gets the kill. Now Gimgoon's going low. True Shot Rush flies across, but G2 eSports are buying time. Keep your eyes on the minimap. Super's pouring in the base.
That kill just earned them survival in this series. Quickshot. G2 fight to live another day. They get a critical pick when there are very little windows to go for, and they're able to take down Doinb. That means they're able to reset off these super minions. What can they actually complete, though?
We'll lose the Mountain Drake, but take your point, Kobe. If that fight goes another 25 seconds, suddenly they're losing an inhibitor turret to the Windians in the top side. You got to pick your battles. You got to get the most you can, and just living, just hanging on in this best of five was honestly the most G2 could hope for.
Yeah, and what can they complete? Not that much, right? You know that FPX are going to reset, and they're going to come knocking once again. This time with super minions flooding in topside again with the weakened Nexus turrets as well. You can't let that go on for very long. Baron will be spawning in 38 seconds. Let's see about the transition of wards into the next teamfight area.
We should mention this is probably the strongest point in the game for FPX. Relatively, feels like every other 1,000 gold to G2 with their scaling is going to put them more and more into a scenario where they can fight. So they may be down 5,000 gold, but every 1,000 gold from here is better spent by G2 compared to FPX.
All right, this is the opportunity that G2 bought with that pick. They're trying to make a play in the fog of war. They have to hope for some member of FPX to be straggling and then take surprise once again. But that Scryer's Bloom gives up the whole game.
5 seconds till Baron. It is caught here on camera. Super's just about to crest the steps of the G2 base, and Wunder with no teleport available. He's starting to make his way up. FunPlus haven't even hesitated. They're already on the objective.
G2 have only one controller. They have to use the Ezreal ult to check here. Baron at half health.
All right, True Shot Barrage goes out. Death Sentence lands onto Jankos. He caught out by the box, and the play he goes in with the Cataclysm and hops right back out. The Baron is the target, and it will be secured. It's Lwx that does so, but it's at the cost of Crisp Life. Hero Zephyrus comes in, and Doinb is chasing forward. That's already a kill onto Jankos. This could be it. Now Wunder's in trouble as Caps goes golden under the hourglass. He needs to do so much more. Will throw down the Event Horizon, but it doesn't matter. 2 members of G2 are left to fend off 4 from FunPlus Phoenix.
FPX are headed straight for that Nexus, and it's only Wunder and PerkZ left standing.
FunPlus Phoenix are looking to silence the haters and stun the world with their own style of League of Legends. They are pushing onto the Nexus. The favorites of G2 in Paris did not stand a chance, and FunPlus, they've taken down the Nexus. They turn their attention to Wunder. Tian goes down. PerkZ kills Gimgoon. The Nexus is being focused. It's going down, and FunPlus Phoenix are your world champions.